I'm sharing the screen now. One more thing, Chinmay is here. I wanted to tell you on this Friday at between 7 and 8, there is a talk on pulling your own strings. I talked to you that day, pulling your own strings by Dr. Chari. Chinmay will share the link. You just attend the session. Then we will do some hands-on for you later. Second thing is, we need to meet on this Monday for one session on educational research, introduction to projects, innovation, the theory, background, etc. Dr. Ashwini Karve, she's an expert. She is going to talk about it. Because from 12th to 25th, there is no class. On direct, we have kept on. We'll try to keep the class on Wednesday, but it's not. See, Thursday is not convenient to Dr. Gaurang. Wednesday may be Chinmay's classes, and Tuesday is not convenient to many people like Ashwini and all, because she is busy Tuesday, Thursday. So the remaining, what I considered was Monday, but I think it's inconvenient to one or two. So I am trying, but this Monday, see, one thing I'll tell you, about patients, it is how you habituate them. If you tell them that you are attending something very important and uh, it will benefit them in the large way, they will cooperate with you. That is my feeling. Because even the patients coming at 10 o'clock in the night after dinner is a habit that we have put. Dar ke ki patient will run away somewhere. Patient doesn't run away anywhere if you give him a discipline. So please try that. And now they see Siddharth, one, Narendra, Arun, Jyoti, Shilpa, then Sandhya, and I think you are there, yeah. Meenakshi is there. And who is GB?
Gaurang Baxi.
Gaurang
Gaurang
Baxi.
Baxi. Arey, wow, wow, wow. So there are only 7 participants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Jyoti has not joined. Mirna has not joined. Can somebody give a call to Mirna and inform to join Jyoti? Who else is there? Jyoti is joined.
Anand, Dr. Anand.
Anand Patil. Narendra, can you call Anand?
Yeah, ma'am. Jyoti has joined.
Jyoti joined. Jyoti joined. Shilpa joined. Only Mirna is remaining. Okay, today we are going to talk about learning style. This also me, Doctors Chinmay and Dr. Gaurang. I just prepared the slides. Joining? Yeah. So we first talk about learning styles and then go to adult learning principle, because that day I spoke to you half an hour about adult learning principles. Can you recall your experience anytime that in your life, anything, not only academics, anything that you enjoyed learning, and what was the thing that you enjoyed the most? What is the method that you learned? Or how was the teacher rendering the lecture? Both think what enabled you and what made you resist learning. Take for half a minute. You can share them. I think Anand Kumar Patil also joined, right?
Yes, madam.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
madam.
Anand, today we are going to talk about learning styles, and I want you to recall how you learned, whether you learned, it helped you to learn because the teacher was speaking, talking, or you saw some movie or a video or some demonstration, or you were trying to do something in the laboratory. What is it that made you learn? Or it was something interesting?
Yes, madam. Now only I tell, madam.
Yeah.
Okay. It is mainly the demonstrations, madam, which help us to learn.
Okay. Okay.
So,
And Arun.
Ma'am, last year I attended a class on crown lace. Last 3 years back, the presenter was telling me how the crown lace have been changing over into the conventional preparations principles that we are following, and he gave us some examples that what principles he followed to to say better advantages of crown lace over the that is the tabletop crowns over the regular conventional crowns which we were practicing past the exams and things like that. That was something which was I was thinking.
But what made you learn that better? Some new concept.
New concept.
And then some. Did he explain? Did he show? Did you do
Yes,
something?
ma'am. We prepared those models and on a model, and then the principle behind this thought, like the gold gumbas which is being made, how it can resist the atmospheric pressure and the things which can sustain for a longevity. All those things he explained that give me a thought-provoking things, which change my thinking process slightly better.
Okay. So all of you, I request you to share in the chat box. Then I will read it. But now I'm going ahead. I want to share. Acha, I'll go on this mode. Sorry, slide mode. I'm very sorry. Okay. Let love. आणि थोडं जाऊ दे. पंखा बंद नको करू. So, can you share in the chat box? Or should I send a link to you? Chinmay?
I can just share in the chat box.
Yeah, they can.
We can read it, yes.
Because this is not garden, no? Answer garden.
Yeah. So here, yes, I am waiting for the response from the participants, so I will then speak out.
Yeah, please. See, Howard Gardner, educationist, he said, the biggest mistake of the past centuries, many centuries in teaching, formal teaching. I'm not telling you Guru Shishya teaching. First of all, I wish all of you a very, very Teachers' Day greeting. Happy Teachers' Day greeting. You're in a profession of creating the future of the society. The impact you create on the minds of the people is important. If we speak negative, they will learn negative. It is, and if our attitude is careless, they will also follow. This is called as hidden curriculum. In house, parents have hidden curriculum. However they behave, supposing they use a bad word or they are always shouting, you also will do the same. They didn't teach you, but you learn it. Same the teacher who is behaving in a manner always very pleasant, forthcoming, being very soft spoken, and sometimes stressing on a topic is different, and students learn that. But if you keep grumbling about the principal, you always say go late to the class, or you just finish the class fast and learn on your own, you are not caring for them. This is hidden things they learn from. It's called hidden curriculum. We are going to have a small session on hidden curriculum later when we do curriculum. So he said, we treat all these students like same one person, and there are multiple of that. Uska duplicate cloning ho gaya hai. But it's not like that. I like something, you like to learn a different way. I always like storytelling. I can connect with it. Narratives in education is also important, and also giving examples. I also like not only hearing but seeing also. like doing multiple methods I like. So he says that find out what the student needs. That is where to each is a teacher. To each is teacher. So justified in teaching them all the same way? No, we are not justified. Each individual is different. So, but I don't have so much time. I have large class of 100 students or 50 students or 60 students. So I can use different methods in teaching. That is one thing.
So, madam, response from the Narendra sir is during PG training, table clinic and conference was thought provoking. From Anand Kumar sir, it is a discussion, interaction with friends on particular topic helped me to remember long time. Then from Dr. Jyoti, using models for teaching. Dr. Silpa, discussion and demonstration. Dr. Sandhya, discussing a topic with seniors during PG time. Dr. Siddharth, enable learning, going through journal and viva before touching patients. Resisted learning, sometimes due to the self casualness, attitude and lack of proper resources. And Dr. Meenakshi says give opportunity to students to express. So these are the different response of all of our faculties.
So can you just share that in the WhatsApp later?
Yeah, sure.
Next time, Chinmay will put a whiteboard for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we can write fatafat. Yeah. Or answer garden we can use. You send a link of answer garden. I'll just use a link.
Yeah.
Okay. So very many of you liked to interact with people. So your attention is focused. So don't you think the same way our students will like to interact in group discussions, in other people, peer learning? You said interacting with other PG students helped, isn't it? So please understand that focus for a person is what he likes. What we don't like, we don't even hear sometimes. Okay. So also important. Just excuse me. Meena? नहीं वो कार्तिकी एकादशी अच्छा एक तो उनका कार्तिकी पूनम में बर्थडे है ना वो 12 ठीक ओके no that that singing group na they had written ekadashi में program maker because they are some I'll call you later I know that's okay I told them already so I'll tell you one thing I'm in a class so what is this diagram? Can anybody say Meenakshi? I want you to Google and find out what is this diagram.
Okay.
All of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it something related to hierarchy of needs?
Yes. Very nice. Fantastic. But what is it called? And why is it so important? Because as just now Narendra rightly said, it's called as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The psychiatry, the psychologist that he said what is important for people is roti, kapda, makan. First, physiological needs. Khana to mangta hai na. Comfortably rehna mangta hai. You want to feel safe. We also want to feel safe in the colleges. Students also want to feel safe. And also emotional connect. Remember, I'm going to take a complete session on emotional connect now. That's important. Connection between you and the students. Connection is not seen. Connection is not by just saying I love you. When you fell in love with your partner, what did you? You did eye language. And you also came with a smile. Expression, your body language, you felt shy. So all these connections are emotional. Beyond that, in education, is your inquiry, your happiness. You are feeling grateful that this teacher is caring for me. You are feeling grateful that I and you are connected to learn and grow. Am I not giving you that emotional connect? And you are giving me because I find you very interested learners. Self-esteem is important. I must feel good about myself. And that we have to develop the habit. Koi bola gussa ho gaya, koi bola machku ho gaya, that principal shouted at me today, or somebody that that fellow said that it's not good, something. And self-actualization is important. You want to be like somebody, you want to be a role model, you want to do something, and you want to actualize yourself in that position. So 5 years later, Narendra Pariyar wants to be the vice chancellor. Self-actualization will come only with problem solving, accepting the present, and lack of prejudice, what we have. So many things. I am not going into a lecture on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but this is important for you in education because students need to feel secure. Academic environment should be safe. म्हणजे मेरे को कभी भी insult नहीं कर देगा. And you please make a statement in the college many times in your lectures that we are connected to be happily learn together. So in case you are scolded, it's only for a transient period. That time we don't mean to insult. I don't mean to insult you. And please take in the right spirit. And in case you feel something, please come back to me. I will solve it. Some people have not even interacted, fought with people and taken the brunt because they're single children and parents have pampered them. उसको थोड़ा भी वो कश्मीर की कली जैसी होती मुरझा जाता है, वो इतना मुरझा जाता है कि वो डिप्रेशन में जाता है. तो मैंने पूछा क्या हुआ ऐसा, तो बोला वो टीचर ने मेरे को ऐसा बोला. मैं बोला ऐसा बोला तो क्या हुआ, तू आंसर कर वापस. Are you connecting with me what I'm saying? You're all facing this day in and day out. Are you with me? Today's class, I want you to be with me all the time, connected.
Yes, ma'am.
And see, I want the 10 of you to grow together as a empowered teacher, not powerful. Power can be used on people, dadagiri. Power can be used for people so that you have an influence. Mirna knows somebody in Bhuvaneshwar, so she will say that okay, this here is the place where you can go and get the things done, doctor or student, or you are not well, I'll send you here. So she's used the power for the person, and all the preposition you use, power on others, power for others, and power as a tool to grow. So empowered, you are an empowered person. I want you to be empowered. So emotionally, I'm highly connected. Tomorrow, if your project is slow, or Mirna is not doing something, or Arun has not answered the assignment, and if I say, Arun, what is this? So you are going to be, see, madam is very rude. Madam doesn't understand that I'm in a powerful position. Yes, you are. You are. Who said you are not? You are a dean, you are a director, you are in the army, you are a respected teacher. But for us here, we are all learners. There is only one caste in education. There is no scheduled caste, no some open merit and nothing. Only one, knowledge. Ek hi caste hai, knowledge. Knowledge is something all the time dynamic and growing. So you need to be on learning spree all the time. Learning and sharing. So this is an important diagram that I showed you. Now, you all said that you learn because you had some logically speaking things kept. Arun said that he showed them something new. So there are a lot of things. There are very many learning by doing. Music is also something, some people put a soft music and learn. On the background, there is a soft music going on. वो जोर से बॉलीवुड का सॉन्ग लगा के वो नहीं पढ़ सकता है. But some people like that some noise is there, or not exactly noise, some sound. So it's very important that interpersonal relationships, bodily kinesthetic, the touch is important. You know, there is a group here called Freedom for Health, freedom from diabetes they call it, but it's freedom for health. They tell you that you will do your exercises, your nutrition program only when you like yourself, you love yourself, and your people like you. So touch a day is important. A touch a day is important. That you touch, you hug, you, that is also showing emotion. That, you know, that छोटा छोटा brain हिंदी picture में बोलते हैं, your sensory systems have to be activated, just not mechanical way you will not enjoy teaching. So there are pictures, smart pictures suddenly you put in the class, and there are word quizzes you can put. We'll come to this later again, but I want to tell you that there are visual learners, okay? There are people who see audio visual, they like it. So both audio and visual, but there are some people who like only the teacher's voice, but there are never one type. You always learn drawing with visual and kinesthetic. You learn music with hearing and your brain function going into understanding what note it is. Also, there is verbal, there is oral, logical sequence. So you need to be socially connected. Solitary learners are also there. They say हम नहीं पढ़ सकते हैं साथ में, हम ग्रुप में नहीं पढ़ सकते हैं, but little bit of group dynamics you learn better. So basically visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and R is for reading, because eye coordination, eye brain coordination, reading, it's an activity. So it came with a thing it's called VARK. VAR is reading and kinesthetic. So there are very many learning styles. We should respect the talents and we of the people, appreciate the students. And if you tell the students, you're always late, hidden curriculum, always, adjective added, मैं इससे ही हूँ. But you should, sometimes you are late, but I want you to be, punctuality is important. Language, what you speak is important. Students should engage in the activities, encourage cooperation among them, because solitary people don't grow. Sometimes they do. There are very many solitary people. They may be having, see, never underestimate if they have any psychosocial problems and they have been diagnosed with something, even ADHD and all. They have their own way. Teacher has to understand iska language he requires to improve, and that is how you encourage. Or maybe he requires to be, we are all not born in dentistry. We have lot of art and science. Did you not practice many times to come? But some people easily were, you know, thoda sa carving kiya, unka perfect hai, unka eye coordination, unka focus, unka visual coordination, unka brain coordination was such that they could get it. But I don't mind. I have many other attributes, and so I will learn by practice. Give feedback. Feedback immediately to tell you that I want that this thing has to be done. Impression needs to be improvised in this area. And also, if you require that something has to be corrected immediately. Haan, Jitu? Hello. Okay, I'm in class. So that is what is important. And emphasize time on task. You cannot give perpetually. If I tell you that you have to submit by November, you will do only in November. So communicate high expectations. High is not unachievable. High is something. These are some of the principles we follow in education and in learning styles. Educational principle is what? Basically, the student learning should happen. How well I talk is not important. How the student has learned is important. I modulate my voice because I don't want you to just sleep away in the class, respect diverse talents and a way of learning, engage students in the, ऐसा थोड़ी बात करना है अपने को ऊपर नीचे करके modulate करके बात करना है. So principles of good practice is very, very important. This just example I have put, that's why it's a crowded slide. Accounting professional, if they want to absorb the material, certain ideas, certain task and problem solving has to be given. The training has to be such that the chart, the mind mapping, how the flow chart has to be given. So individual learning styles, however, you may tailor. You cannot have one class with only visual. You have to have audio visual. And the learning styles are multiple for people. For example, I like maybe some storytelling to connection, but I like the audio visual. It makes me understand. So the student needs to be the lower level of effort is resulted when the students received instruction in their preferred format. They exhibited overconfidence in learning. Maybe some of you said in group learning, so they will do it better. But it's not necessary that only one style matters. Okay. So effective mathematics needs concrete example. You have to give numbers. You have to give symbols. You have to give charts. And now the calculators have come, computers have come. So the learning cycle and inquiry-based instructional models, inquiry. Let them think and ask questions. You encourage them for that. So let me show you a small, I'll be showing all videos for 2-3 minutes and then I'll give you the link to go through at home. Okay. Let me show you. Can you see? Just tell me once it starts.
Ma'am, can you please make it full screen?
There's actually a few different versions, actually many different versions.
I will do that.
Styles.
I'll do that.
But probably the most common ones, the one that you've heard of, is that some of us are auditory learners where we learn best by listening to things, and that some of us are more visual learners where we learn best by seeing things, and that some of us might be more tactile or kinesthetic learners where we learn best by actually doing things or engaging in physical activities. How many of you have heard of that before? Well, the good news and bad news. Bad news is if you believe in learning styles, you're actually wrong. And I'll explain that in just a minute. But the good news is that it's not entirely your fault. This belief in learning styles is incredibly pervasive. It's so common that few people ever think to even question it, right? It sounds so logical. It sounds so real. But when put to the test, we found that learning styles don't exist. And again, there are tons of people that believe this. When we survey, for example, students and teachers, we find that something like 90% of them, or over 90% of people, believe that they have a learning style. And teachers today, many teachers are still told that part of their job in order to be effective teachers is to figure out what their students' learning styles are and then to accommodate them for the classroom. There are even a host of companies and organizations out there that support learning styles and who, for a fee, will train you on how to maximize your potential or that of your students, right, by addressing learning styles and learning what yours are. But again, the key is when put to the test, these learning styles don't exist and it doesn't make a difference. Now, I will say that when we survey people, many people say they have preferences. So if I asked you, how would you like to learn something? Or how would you like to study? Many of you might say things like, oh, I'd prefer to see it, or I'd prefer to hear it, or I'd prefer to actually do it. So that's true. But the key is that those preferences don't actually enhance your learning when we test them in experimental conditions. And there are many different ways to test this, but the basic design is this. We bring in a bunch of different people who have supposedly different learning styles. We teach them in a variety of ways, right? And then we see if teaching them in one way somehow was better for them or more effective than others. So for example, let's say I had a list of words that I wanted you to memorize, right? In one group, I might show you that list of words. I would present the list of words to you. Or in another group, similarly, I might actually show you images of those words. In yet another group or another condition, I might just let you listen to those words and hear them. So you wouldn't actually see anything, but you would just hear someone saying dog, pose, coat, etc. Now, if learning styles existed, if it was true, we would expect that visual learners or so-called visual learners would be able to recall more words when they saw them, right? So either when they saw the list or when they saw the actual images. And we would expect that so-called auditory learners would be able to recall more words when they heard them, right? But again, the finding is learning is actually the same. The number of words that you recall is exactly the same, regardless of how the material is presented to you. Now, I know that's just one example of one particular study, but I'm asking you to trust me that this has been replicated in many different contexts with many different people of all different ages and tested in slightly different ways with exactly the same results. In fact, there have been several meta-analysis papers where they've looked at all the research on this topic for 40 years, and all of them have concluded the same thing, that there's still no evidence that matching teaching styles to supposed learning styles or students' preferences actually makes a difference. But I would encourage you to look up some of this research on your own, in particular, these review articles. So then how is that possible? I'm sure some of you are wondering, how does that even make sense, right? Because it sounds so good. And there's a lot of different research on learning and memory to explain this. But one of the main ideas is that most of what we learn in the classroom and most of what teachers want us to know in particular is stored in terms of meaning. And it's not tied to one particular sense or one particular sensory mode. Now, it's also true, just like people have preferences, it's also true that some of you might have better visual memories or better auditory memories or auditory processing skills compared to other people. And that might be advantageous for certain types of tasks. So for example, if I wanted you to remember what was the color of the coat on that last slide, or how many windows were on that house on the last slide, then having a really good visual memory would help with that. Likewise, if I had read you the list of words and I said, were they read in a high voice or a low voice? Or which words were read by a woman and which ones were read by a man? Then having a really good auditory memory would help with that. But those aren't typically the kinds of questions that teachers are asking you to remember or the things that teachers want you to learn in the classroom. Mostly what you're learning in the classroom is much more conceptual or meaning based, right? It's not just what something looks like or what something sounds like. And by the way, this finding or this whole idea also helps to explain why simple rehearsal strategies like rereading your notes or just rewriting your notes, even though they're very commonly used strategies, they tend to not be very effective because rereading your notes or rewriting your notes doesn't necessarily help you understand the material. In order to retain information, right, we have to organize it in a way that's meaningful, right? We have to make connections to it, connecting it to our experiences or coming up with our own examples or thinking of how we're learning something in one class, how that relates to what else we know. That's what helps us remember it. Now, again, there's a lot of research to support this idea that most of what we learn is stored in terms of meaning and not according to visual images or auditory sounds. But some of the best, most relevant research comes from these classic studies that were done in the 70s. Now, Chase and Simon, they were interested in chess players' abilities to recall pictures of chessboard games in progress. So what they would do is they would show players an image of a game in progress for a short time, typically only 5 seconds or so, and then it would disappear. And then they would ask the players to recall where were all the pictures, where were all the pieces in that picture. And what they found was a big difference between novice players or beginner players and experts. Beginner players, when asked to recall where the pieces were, they could only remember about 4 pieces. All right. Experts, on the other hand, could actually identify almost all of them. Over 20 of them could they correctly identify in the next game board when asked to recall these. Now, again, they were interested in knowing, why is this difference? Why do we see this difference between beginners and novices? And it wasn't because, like you might be thinking, that the experts had better visual memories than the beginners. It was because the experts had more experience playing chess and more knowledge. In other words, this game board was more meaningful to them, right? They could see the strategy involved. They could imagine what was happening and why the players had their pieces positioned the way they did. And to further support this idea, they did a follow-up study. And in the follow-up study, they showed chess players pictures of randomly arranged chessboards. Right, and that's this picture here. Now, to you or I, or to beginner chess player, these might look basically the same. I mean, yeah, the pieces are in different places, but for the most part, they might be equally difficult to remember, right? To an expert, though, we found big differences when presented with a randomly configured board. Once it was random, experts no longer had an advantage in remembering pieces because it wasn't meaningful to them. But because there's no meaningful arrangement in what it is you want to learn, right? Or depends on the content itself. Now, if I wanted you, for example, to know what a bunch of different songbirds looked like, the best way to teach you that is to let you look at pictures of those songbirds or let you see them in real life. Right. But note that that's true for everybody. That's not true just because you're a visual learner. Right. That's because looking at them is what I'm asking you to do, is to remember what they look like. On the other hand, if I wanted you to remember what they sounded like, or to be able to distinguish between different songs of different songbirds, then letting you hear them would be the best way. But again, that applies to everybody. Just like if I wanted you to know what different flowers smelled like, the best way to teach you that is going to be to let you experience those flowers by smelling them. right? But that doesn't mean you're an olfactory learner or that you learn everything better through smelling. I mean, take a minute to imagine what that would look like in a math class or in an anatomy class, right? Or a physics class, right? And as absurd as that sounds, it's really important to remember that the same can be taught using multiple senses. So it's not just limited to one, for example. So say I wanted you to learn the game of football, right? Probably the best way to teach you football is going to get you out to get you out there and play football, right? To actually practice and having that physical experience playing. But you'd also probably benefit from being able to watch a football game or being able to look at schematics or drawings of the different formations and the different positions, just instruments, or maybe to learn how to play them, right? Or to actually watch one live. Again, it's not that different modes make it meaningful to different people based on their learning style. It's not like, oh, the visual learners are only going to learn by seeing it, right? It's because incorporating multiple sensory experiences into one makes it into one lesson. Copernicus and Galileo proved us otherwise, right? Likewise, there was a time in which some people actually believed or were worried that polio might be caused by ice cream, right? Which we now know is nonsense, right? And unfortunately, even today, one unfortunate myth that still persists is this idea that vaccines cause autism, despite the lack of any scientific evidence. Right? Just because a lot of people believe it doesn't make it true. And that might seem really obvious to you, but again, the key idea is that when something's so pervasive, it doesn't even occur to people to challenge it, right? We need to be willing to critically reflect on beliefs, even if they're commonly believed. Another reason why this persists is, quite frankly, the idea of learning styles is sexy, right? It sounds good. It feels good, right? Saying people have different learning styles is another way of acknowledging that people are different and differences are important, right? Especially when it comes to the classroom, right? But me, have ever been thinking of someone only to have them call or text you? Or how many of you have experienced deja vu or had a dream only to have it come true, right? And you start to think, whoa, I've got something going on here, right? Some extrasensory perception, telepathic powers, right? Again, I'm sorry to say you don't, right? That's been studied frequently too, and there's no evidence to suggest that we have these telecommunicating.
So I just wanted you, one second, I'll just close this. Okay, I'll share it again. Did you understand what did I do? I showed you a small video because we were talking of learning styles and I told you learning styles are multiple, but I did not give you reason. She gave you the reason. See, I'll tell you, there are some companies like diabetic medicine giving you a push that ये diabetes खाली ये medicine से ही कम होगा. Insulin keeps on increasing, something like that. All the companies or all the people who have patented things, they will say VARC is the only way. Why am I today talking about learning style? Is in classroom, multiple methods need to be used. And in the whole scenario, what happens is many a times when you plan, lesson plan, we will talk about lesson plan to you. Lesson plan is a whole package of the what topic, what in the topic you are going to take. Your centric relation, so you're going to take definition, different methods, just that much knowledge, or you're going to have a critical analysis of different methods, or you're going to have, how you record correctly, or how it is important. Can you change centric? These are all little more understanding, analysis, and all. So, will you plan the lecture just didactic? No. I will plan the lecture in such a manner students can pay attention to me. They can see it, some small video clip or some diagram, or maybe talking and bringing a model in the class like the skull and all, and showing them what is gangliomo-arthritic joint. All those things we need to do. So I plan the lesson, the strategy of teaching, the methodology of teaching, strategy of teaching, my way of quizzing them in the class. If you don't put some questions, people don't learn. And she said connection. There is a complete learn in Coursera. You all know about Coursera? It's a free learning. Learning how to learn. Learning how to learn. So they say learning mnemonics, like remember that physical, physiological, all those things, PP, anatomical. What am I talking about? Retention. So we talk about physical factors, physiological factors, anatomical factors, biological factors, all those things. So I can make small PP, A and B and something else also. But if I want to make learn with something which I experienced, that the two glass fill, a small drop of water, it could not be separated, then I'm connecting things. Or how do I remember? So there is a very many, education is something very simple. But if we as teachers understand education means drawing out, मेरे माइंड में ऑलरेडी है, उसको मैं ड्रॉ आउट करती हूँ. तेरे माइंड में स्टोरेज नहीं है, बट यू हैव द कैपेसिटी टू सी समथिंग, and my mind has already deciphered a lot of things, and now we want to in the exam bring it. Why? Because you need to be tested before they check, go on the patients. So these are things. I'll do talk to you next time a little bit about phenomena of learning. That's a little higher. We do it in the master's class and all, but doesn't matter. So here we were talking about learning styles, and she said that it's a myth. There are people, I'll show you next this thing slide, wherein they say no, it is important. And there are very many logical people like you and me who will think yes, learning style is important, but let me keep it as a multiple method of teaching in the class. And sometimes if I observe that the student likes to do this way group learning, I'll put them in the group learning. There they are interacting, so human connection comes. There is also focus comes. They also like to read and write points down. Many of you may be taking down points here. Many of you may not. The way to remember. So learning how to learn our student also is important. Making them meaningful learning. That why centric relation I am teaching. Why students do, I'm going to talk to you about later, much later, 2 months down the line, about, or maybe 1.5 months, about early clinical exposure. Students I did not go to dental college to make that plaster blocks. I never made a plaster block, first of all. Those days we were very practical. We were making each other's impression, pouring, and from that only we learned, and we were taken to the clinics. Knowingly, unknowingly, those teachers did not know they were doing me early clinical exposure. Here I came to wear a white coat. I wanted to feel like a doctor, and I also wanted to feel like oral healthcare worker. I wanted to feel better. So I wanted to go to the community to interact with people, to tell them how to brush, or maybe see, do some community work, because I'm a community worker also. I want to feel good. It's all about self-esteem. So early clinical exposure. So here again, if you make it meaningful to the student, the plaster block is to make you better in the way it is the initial working time, setting time, and all those things. Or setting time is important. And how do the crystals are formed? What is hygroscopic expansion? All these things meaningful. All the students all the time ask you why, but they don't have dare to ask us why, because many a times we say that student is very mischievous or very this thing, he dares to question. We don't encourage that. The daring is actually to be encouraged. And many a times our own mind, I will not use negative words for you, but please forget the moment I use the word. Sometimes frustration comes in. Frustration because my contemporary, the young graduates, postgraduates, 27, 26 years old, he says, I will get only 40,000. And my colleague from classmate from IIT, he has been given a package of 30 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, or maybe today my job is not secure, or maybe my people at home ridicule me, itna padke itna hi kamata hai. That is, meaning is such a thing that I feel that अंदर से कुछ होता है लेकिन मैं निकाल नहीं सकता हूँ. That is financial. Or maybe you are having some difference of opinion in the house, or maybe there is some relationship problem, or maybe some health problem, health issues in the school. So all these things we bring it out on the people around us, not just students. And many a times this so happens that there is a small amount of people, like-minded people of negativity or positivity, sitting together whole time near the desk and then telling something. So you as leaders need to discourage this practice of sitting together and gossiping, or maybe talking something which is not connected. Once you have punched or you have signed, you are expected to close your mobile, sit in the class for 9 to 12, be around the student. This practice will come. It will come if you want. But if you make a dadagiri, they will not do it. But it's a why. This is the way it should be. Even anywhere you go, you are supposed to be focused on the work. You are not supposed to be sitting only when the student comes. Why is the student should come with the impression? Is it not important to observe him when he's doing the? See, we were ignorant earlier. Probably we all didn't know that's important. Observation is the best way of teaching. We were talking about you that observation is one of the ways wherein checklist marks can be given even during formative times teaching them. So that is important. So overnight we all cannot change the system. Slowly only you can. Don't try to do anything which is bringing on negativity from people. We need to talk to them first. We need to tell them the meaningfulness. So here it's very important to connect the students with the meaningfulness. So I'll share the slide again. Just 1 minute.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, I will share. 1 second. Okay, so we were here. I will not go to the other, because these are, and other three are not so important also. So just forget about it. So we gave you VAR questionnaire.
Madam, full screen. Okay.
Yeah. We want you to see when choosing a career on area of study, these are important for me. What is important? Applying my knowledge, working with designs, communicating. So there are different ways. This is a different questionnaire I gave. There are 1 or 2 VAR questionnaires, but then I gave you in such a manner that if, let me see how you answer them. See, a website, this is now modern work because we are all doing online learning, right? That is why. So a website has a video. Old work did not have these questions. A website has a video showing to make a special graph. There is a person speaking, some list and words describing what to do with the diagrams. I would learn most from watching actions, seeing diagrams, listening. I think we all do with everything. We watch it, we listen to it, and we read the words also, isn't it? So that is why the multiple in the class, you will come and talk for some time, 5 minutes, introduce the topic, then you will show them the video. Necessary, they'll show the PPT. Don't make PPT so dry, year after year you use the same thing. And you'll put up the learning objective with the class, important. And then what you will cover, the students should know. How the students will be assessed, they should know. So all these things are important. So we use multiple strategies. sometimes gamifications, games and simulations, online games, or something which can be used easily. Like next time I'll use Answer Garden for you. You'll come to know what it is. So learning with problem solving, giving them a question, role play, best way to show them how the denture cleaner should be used to an elderly adult, how he shows. They can have presentations, they can have panel discussions. You can make the students as a panelist and other as members and do it. You can be brainstorming. There can be case study, very strong way of learning, because you're giving a case, you're connecting the story, and they're telling not only about the prosthetic part, also the basic medical science, like is diabetic or not comes. And question and answer method, quick rapid round of questions, project design methods. So there are multiple ways of doing. These are all things we will cover in the teaching learning methodology. And then Leon said, I started using VARC learning style inventory about a year ago for the specific purpose of increasing math proficiency. I managed to combine VARC results with teaching strategies related to it. The teaching strategies were important. Did you get that? Student failure decreased by 30%. So the teaching strategy to match multiple way of styles, that was important. And so we have visual learners. You can highlight with posters, flashcards, mind maps, highlighting. Mind maps are very strong methods of showing next procedure, next procedure, next procedure. All these things, or maybe a story that comes in your mind. So highlighting the visual learners will learn with your flashcards. Flashcards are very strong. You can use not in all classes, maybe once or twice a year. Maybe they can match. You can have a PowerPoint. You can have highlighters, because in the PowerPoint, if you highlight with red, they like it. Attention goes there. So I again come to the same slide, that understanding things by reading is one way. Coordinating, touching, maybe when the voice is modulated by the teacher, all of you sit down. Instead of saying the same monotonous, you can change the voice. You can put some music for the students because it draws attention. There is a logical way, hypothesis, deriving it, interpersonal relationship, making them learn in groups, intrapersonal, understanding self, what you feel. I'm confused, I didn't understand, so I don't want to ask question. People will think I'm dumb. No, there are techniques to make them ask the questions, which is called as confusion technique. Can you please note down this technique? We'll play this game right now. And finding the right words to express what you mean. Linguistic, there are people who use language in such a manner that make it simple, lucid, or may people make it very, very, bombastic language that may not be appreciated. Maybe there are visual, like braille lipi is used, but we like 3D images now. So there are different ways. So again, showing it, there are multiple intelligences theories. People are not, she just now said in the video that how you learn is meaningful, should be meaningful. It should be also interesting. It should be connecting. So we all are having this multiple intelligences theory. So just not work, but we also want to have different methods incorporated in our daily practice of whatever classes we take. So ability to organize activities, people, making them sometimes take over as a teacher, or making them logically derive the answer, like logical. We talked about intrapersonal, how the patient, people feel. So multiple intelligences theory is one which says that we must use many methods of teaching in the class and not just one PowerPoint. Sometimes no PowerPoint is very powerful. PowerPoint is called as powerless person's tool, PPT. Powerless person's tool. Not necessary. If you use it properly, it is a powerful PowerPoint, presenting it powerfully. Okay. So anything that is worth teaching can be presented in many different ways. These multiple ways can make use of multiple intelligences. Okay. Anything can be taught just by PowerPoint, just by some poster, or it can be by playing a game, it can be by a quiz, it can be by brainstorming, questioning them, problem solving. So multiple intelligence theory, intelligence is a biological and physiological potential. There are multiple and independent intelligences. Intelligences always interact with one another. It doesn't mean that I doesn't react with what you hear. It's all coordinated. Each person has a unique intelligence profile. Intelligence are educable, teachable, learnable. They change and they grow. They say that you can develop your intelligences. It's called neuroplasticity. The more you learn, the more you remember, the more your brain cells grow and added also. Intelligences can be learned throughout life. No, life starts at any time you want to start it to be positive. It's not that everything is over, एक पांव कबर में लट किसका नहीं लटक रहा है, लास्ट मोमेंट भी सीख तो सकते हैं. And so we visual learning, auditory learning, reading and writing, kinesthetic learning. This is a VARK style of learning. We must know the VARK principles, because VARK principles are important, that we have to have the way of maybe sometimes putting the same thing and again. Patients care how much you care for them. They don't care for how much you know. If it's written in the college like a proverb, people read it again and it goes in their mind. So visual is important, talking is important, auditory is important. As she said, if I give you that in front of me is a jar, a bottle, a book, and some file, cushion, and can you put them in order? It is just testing the memory, but it is focus also testing. So focus is important. So make this exercise in this class. So how alert they are, they'll feel excited. And of course, we all psychomotor skills are kinesthetic important. Can one student have more than one style of learning? Can you say now? Huh?
I think let's have a 2 minutes break. I have shared one link, online link of bar questionnaire. So each and every our faculty should fill it up and please know your own style.
Yeah, that is all right. That's a predominant style. I'll stop sharing. So that is your predominant style, but doesn't mean that you learn only with that style. Today things were very clear to you, no? The strategies you apply, the meaning you give to them, the connections you give, make it motivatable and interesting. All researchers sometimes give you only result for what question has been asked. She asked a question whether these the visual learner can learn with auditory and by heart that and give it back. So they were same. It doesn't mean similar like clinical research. One aspect is studied question and you come with a generalized statement. No. So please be today always inquiring and not accepting any theory. This was the main purpose today I wanted to. One more thing I want to tell you. I want to complete adult learning principle after you do this. 7:30, Dr. Chetan Hegde and Dr. Rangarajan are going to interact with you. Okay? So see the link. Chetan, Chinmay.
A link has been shared. So all of you please go through that link and you will get online result. Share that result in our WhatsApp group.
I think we already did.
Sir, we've already done that. Ma'am had already
We
sent it.
already did.
Okay, you already submitted?
Yeah.
Sir, we've already done it.
Sir, answer it
Ma'am
second
has
time. You
sent
will get a
long
different
back.
answer. Thoda improve hoga.
Okay, ma'am.
Take 2 minutes.
Ma'am, we have to answer it in the WhatsApp group.
You, whatever Chinmay says, I don't.
Yes. What is your style? Or in the chat box, whatever you can prefer.
Just put your predominant style and say, I would not put one style at all. But my basic style is interacting with people and learning through from people to people and also listening and seeing. So everything came.
Sir, actually,
Meenakshi, there was no disturbance from my side today. I don't know.
Ma'am, sorry, ma'am. Actually, there was internet. We had some glitches. I got it rectified, ma'am.
No problem.
Thank you.
No
Thank you.
problem,
Yes.
dear. Anything you want me to repeat, you let me know, huh?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Can we close down? Can you all write down a little bit? Chinmay? चिन्मय कितना देर देने का है?
us now only 2 minutes.
You can feel free to interact.
Now, Dr. Nandra sir is a kinesthetic. So once you finish, let's have all people's, and then we will have a small exercise further.
Oh, nice.
Sir, I have filled up those questionnaires. That only you want, na, sir?
Yeah. So Dr. Sanjay is having a more of reading, or sorry, you can say oral speaking. वो ऐसा अपने बच्चों को बोलते हैं ना कि पढ़ पढ़ के पढ़ते हैं, बोल बोल के पढ़ते हैं. Remaining people, any problem or anything you are facing? So last 1 minute. Okay, I don't think it will take more time. Okay, Dr. Meenakshi, highest is again the speaking. Others? Dr. Jyoti, Dr. Arun, Siddharth. Between kinesthetic and speaking, okay.
Need another 2-3 minutes, sir. Complete.
Okay, please do fast. So we can go for the second. Actually, for those who have completed, now you have to just do exercise in a form that try to remember your last final year of your degree. That is UG. When you did your BDS and try to remember your final exam. And second is 12th exam, 12th standard. We all have completed 12th standard and graduate exam, and try to just recollect that what was the way at that time you were trying to remember the things. Okay, and right now, so there are, you can if you have a piece of paper, you can have a 3 column number. Column 1 12th, column 2 undergraduate final year, and present status. What is the difference, or is there any difference or not?
So we are trying to understand the thing or trying to remember those things?
Remember.
Okay.
Let me be more specific. Remember.
Sir, you said 3 columns, right?
Yeah. Number 1 is your 12th standard. When you were appearing in your 12th standard exam, what was the things you are doing to remember the things? Second is your graduation, your BDS, and third is your present current status.
Sir, how we have to submit the exercise? We have to take a screenshot.
Just keep it with you and we will share in the plenary. Multimodal. Okay, kinesthetic 11, oral 13. Don't try to categorize under all these options. You just speak out, or freely we are going to discuss. What about others? Dr. Silpa, predominantly kinesthetic. Okay. Dr. Jyoti, Dr. Mirna, Dr. Anand Kumar. We are waiting.
Sir, I have survey form, sir. Already sent in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, ma'am. Let me see. Okay, yes. Okay. Mnemonics, flowchart, diagram. Okay. So let's have at least a predominant style. So we have a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we are total 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. 8 people, 9 people. Okay. So who is willing to share? Yes, sir.
Who is that, Anand?
Sir, is this regarding the second question you put?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. As far as I remember, during my 12th and even during BDS, It was more of self-learning in the sense I used to make my own notes because of lack of any other modes like audio visual. It was very I mean, those were primitive days, so we didn't have any audiovisual aids to learn, even from our teachers.
Yeah.
So, and I was very poor at rote memorizing. So my method was only note making, that too by self-learning. But of late now, it is more of audiovisual. I watch videos or even uh, uh, even YouTube videos. So that is how I try to remember.
Okay, great, sir. Okay, who is the other person to volunteer?
Me.
Yeah, please.
During 12th and UG, I used to remember by making reading frequently and doing revisions of the things, and making important note and that in a separate notebook over the top of the book, that page.
Yeah.
Used to mark the important question. And I used to remember one funny thing, like some of the dental materials, like we are being taught, we have never been seen those materials during our UG time. So you used to visualize what kind of material, and even internet was not there. And you used to put some acronym without actually seeing the material, what it is and what is the clinical use of that material. We are being taught something in the book, but we are being shown something in our clinic. So we used to get confused that we have done plastic type of prosthesis for the patient, and we are being taught about some metal prosthetic which we have not seen at all. So that type of trouble we faced. Nowadays, I think I'm more used to gain my knowledge from the conference, or from if I have something difficult, I usually go through the literature or from the YouTube. And if I find something interesting presentation, that I think that is the shortest way. I take a snapshot of that slide. That is the most.
Great, great. Yes, one more.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
During our time, sir, during our student life, our friends, 3-4 friends, we used to sit together at night, and we used to take one particular topic, and one of my friend used to read the topic, and others we used to listen, and then we used to discuss among ourselves about the topic, and we used to completely understand the topic, so that even till today also I remember that topic. So that is means completely understanding the subject has done with the discussion with the friends, sir.
Okay, what is current status?
The score, sir?
Yeah, what your current score says?
Visual, it's saying 13, sir.
Okay.
And kinesthetic 16, oral 13, and read and write 13. So what does it exactly mean, sir?
So actually, usually in other papers, it is some more or less, but in your case, more, all are 13. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So you can learn with anything. You are adjustable, and whatever way you are getting information, you are able to digest it and you are able to remember it.
Okay, sir. Okay.
The purpose of asking all of you to see the three different level, that is 12th, UG and now, is just to make realize all of us that see it will change frequently as our age changes, as our time changes, our resources changes, our learning style will change. So why we have to keep this in mind, and even with generation also it is changed. So when we want to become an effective teacher, what you can do, you can take the same link. Okay, you can take the same link, put it in the WhatsApp group of the student, and based on the score, you can choose your learning style. For example, out of 50 students, the maximum are getting highest score in kinesthetic. So you have to see that when you are taking any sessions or any lecture, you ask them to do the work, ask them to do some work. If you see that your maximum batch is comfortable with the reading, so in that case, as madam has shown the video, you can play the video, you can give YouTube link into the WhatsApp group, so they will listen it and they will remember it. So if it is visual, then your PowerPoint, a 3D animation. So how we can use it? One is for our purpose, and definitely we are used to our own preference. But for class, try it in a group of students with you, and then try to follow that particular methods. So it will make more effective, and even you can have small project also on the same. If you want to do, you can go for small project. For example, ICM or STS is there, or any small project you can do with the UG students, that take a 2 batch of students, try to find out their learning style and try to teach them with their own learning style, whatever they are preferring. Okay, so that is the sort of use of this methodology. Hello?
Hello, Chinmay sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Can we use this work style of this measuring our method of learning for some survey study, sir?
It means I didn't get. Please elaborate. Please elaborate.
Yes, sir. Just now you shared that link of work style of learning. Whether which method is very easy for us to learn, so that you can identify the individual traits of a person.
Yes.
Can we share this among our the UG students or PG students?
Yes, definitely, sir. What I'm asking, what you can do, create one Google form, ask them their score.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Link you have to share. One is this link, and second is Google form. Roll number, don't ask for name. Roll number and score of VARK. So you will get the overall score of your batch, and according to this you can use it.
Yes, sir.
You all know to make a Google form.
I think COVID has taught everyone.
No, if you don't know, I'll show you. That's why I'm asking you.
Sir, ma'am, please. I'm not.
Okay, next time. Okay. Okay. We'll show you next time how to create the questionnaire.
Learning and teaching strategy, to modify it, then we have to decide for which type of teaching we have to modify this, sir. Whether large group or small
topic, which type of topic, what is suited. Some topics, people take classrooms outside the classroom. It's not confined in the four walls. Education is no more confined. Did not your teacher took a tour to a historical place? Can you not take them in the clinics? Can you not take them in the garden sometime? Garden means you are lounge down, or you are. Can you not just take a class in the evening? To make this interesting, see, initially people will all say that you're doing too much, but they slowly will start following you. I'm not saying to kal ke kal jaake kidhar bahar lena, but I'm just suggesting that I think of innovative ways. Teaching learning method is a full 8 sessions we will take, and we'll give you a lot of things as assignment also. Chinmay, can I now share the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I don't know, that day I think Mirna was not there. Otherwise, many of you attended some few 8-10 slides. So I'll just share the whole thing.
Ma'am, I have not missed any class.
Okay. Maybe you came late and I didn't observe that you have come.
Okay, ma'am.
Adult learning principle का class था ना, मैंने almost आधा पौना घंटा लिया, and you wrote a message to me, madam.
Oh, on that day, yeah, internet was not working. Yeah, I got it.
So the objectives are to identify the principles of adult learning, how adults learn, aware of different styles. We already told you that it keeps changing, it's dynamic, and it's better to use multiple methods, and to apply the concept of planning a teaching activity. So can you think about a moment, why did you learn something new in the recent times? Think about it. Why did you learn? I told you I learned all these using educational apps in the COVID time. Setting up a Zoom call, maybe using WebEx, or maybe conducting an online meeting, and maybe using Answer Garden, or anything else. So I just want you to tell me why did you learn? Why did you learn? And how did you learn? It's very simple. You started learning. Last 5 years, I started learning music because I like music. How? With the help of a teacher, with the help of a harmonium to give me the notes, classical notes. So what are you learning? You don't have to think too much.
I learned two things in last 6 months. One during this COVID time, I learned how to take Zoom classes. During those time, taking class was easier for me, and setting the Zoom meeting was very difficult for me, because I used to get terrorized that the link will go away or the mic will not function, like those things.
These are just the fear in your mind.
Yeah. That is one thing. The second thing is that digital impression.
Why did you learn that? Why did you learn?
Yeah, I learned to because the situation actually compelled me, because we can't take the class offline.
The need of the hour.
Yeah. Another thing that it's not fully I have learned that the digital impression technique, since it is the recent thing. So I used to feel embarrassed that I don't know these things till now because of lack of the equipment.
Probably competition.
Yeah, that might be the underlying
urge to excel.
Yeah, urge not to lag behind, basically.
Yeah. What else? What else? Anybody else? There are so many people.
Yeah. How do you go about doing this? Madam, can you just let me know whether trial and error is a good way of learning?
Very good way of learning. Excellent way of learning.
Because I've been doing this from the day I've started using the computer to the mobile phone.
Best.
Always, I hesitate to even ask somebody. I don't know whether it is my ego or something, but I always try to do trial and error.
Hello.
Hello, madam.
Anand, you want to share? What did you learn? I also learned.
Actually, I am daily I am into learning new things in my life, madam.
Fantastic.
One is work compulsion, and the other one is interest I have in different areas. Apart from our routine work, this thing, sir, as other madam has mentioned, the 3D printing, designing, the T-scan, the interval scanner use. So apart from these things, even started doing the project grant writing also, madam, for along with Rotary Club. That also we're doing in the academic. So apart from the academic, even other interest areas like numerology also I am doing, madam.
Very good.
I'm learning that also, whether and even some money manifestation technique, something also I'm doing. So I'm just learning whatever new thing is coming to me. I'm just
it's
want
great.
to broaden my horizon.
It keeps your dopamine levels very high.
Yes, madam. I just want to learn as much thing as possible in my life.
Fantastic. Meenakshi.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you share?
Ma'am, last time also when you had covered 4 or 5 slides in adult learning, I did mention that I got myself enrolled to Art of Living classes and I learned Sudarshan Kriya.
You said, but you are doing something else also in dentistry also. Share that also.
Yes, ma'am. I'm actually interested in applying for external funding and research grant writing and everything.
Fantastic.
So I thoroughly enjoy writing, and and when it gets rejected, I still get motivated. Next time I should take one.
Yeah. So I also learned continental cooking.
Oh, nice one. True. Right, ma'am.
मैम मैंने भी सारा कुकिंग अपने जितना भी सीखा है ना वो YouTube से ही सीखा है.
Yes, yes, even I also, ma'am.
Is that? Yeah. Yeah, music I learned newly, and singing music. Then I learned some, as she told, research topic something I learned, and I finished my law graduation. So legal aspects on that. Osman, how did you? Uh, I don't know, ma'am. I just learned.
To learn law. That ma'am.
Yeah, cooking also I learned. I joined the Kapoor's cooking classes. Kapoor, he'll come now, ma'am. So
Sanjeev Kapoor.
his classes.
Sanjeev Kapoor.
Ah, okay. His cooking classes I have joined. Then through this
I
music and
even
all, I have
joined
teachers
online Zumba
and
classes.
no, I have teachers as well as through YouTube and
So
other
please
audio
take a
files.
deep thinking regarding what all you learned, how did you learn, why did you learn, and please share it in the chat box. Not now, we can share it in the WhatsApp. I'm going to the next slide. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You were aware there is a need. I was aware there is a need because I wanted to cook different dishes. And I also wanted to learn the apps because there was a need. Otherwise, I can't function online.
Yes.
What skills are required? What is the knowledge required? So how will I learn? I planned. I was proactive learner. That is important. Adults are proactive learners. Nobody told me. My mother didn't tell me join a music class. But I wanted to join. And
I actually feel it's all like sometimes suddenly it happens, like you get an opportunity to learn something. So it's all, I think, even though maybe inside your this thing it will be there, and sometimes you suddenly get an opportunity, I feel. So if you get an opportunity,
recognize the opportunity.
Yeah.
And I again saw that only learning Saregama is not interesting me. So I started learning some Bollywood songs along with the bhajans. So what happens is some fast song is always keeping you. See, we are all different types of people. So we evaluate, we are proactive learners. We find out how to learn, from whom to learn, what the resources available. And I look back again and say, should I am happy with the music I'm learning, or should I change? Or do I need to do something more in prosto? Do I need to do something more in education? So a process whereby adults' roles are of adult status, not child. They are systematic learners. They sustain the learning. Sometimes, of course, we take up, start something and leave it. They say in Sanskrit, आरंभे शूरा.
Yeah.
शूरा एकदम शूर से आरंभ करने का और छोड़ देने का. ऐसा भी होता है adult से. So, and I want to acquire the knowledge because I want to learn on my own. I'm motivated. I'm inspired. My attitude is positive. So I will learn fast.
Tell one sentence, ma'am, in Sanskrit.
Tell.
Aradham uttamajanam na parityajayanti. Good people don't give up what they have begun.
Correct. But
so this is people, like opposite to adult learning.
No, not necessary, Jyoti. We are all humans. The first thing is to love yourself. Self-love is the most important thing. I make mistakes. I said, it's okay, Suha, you made a mistake. Next time we need to be careful. I need to. So that is self-love. And not rebuking yourself all the time. Aisa hai, karke. Okay? So learning should be more enduring, and it should be conscious learning. This exercise will do for you to reflect. You reflect. How did you endure the learning? How did you sustain it? And how are you conscious? Mirna said she learned some digital impressions. I want to know how she is using it, where she learned. So all these things can be as a narrative by you. It can be submitted in the LMS. Okay? All of you. So adults want a concrete experience. They want a real experience. They want to reflect. Am I learning properly? They are very good observers. Sometimes I don't like, I won't observe. But what I like, I'll observe. abstract conceptualization also I can do. I can make a mind map, I can think, I can experience whatever experience past में लेके आ सकती है मैं, and I will imagine that it's going to be like this and I'm going to make mistake on the computer. But that all has to be, we should know the cycle, and there is active experimentation by all of us. So first of all, there is an abstract conceptualization that I have not learned enough of this Excel sheet, or maybe the PowerPoint, I have not explored everything. All the apps can be put over there. How can I not use it? Can I experiment with it? Can I learn? So what is my experience now? Can I reflect on the experience? So we are doing that. So there is a breakout room activity which we will do later. In a breakout room, there is always active people, like a person keeps the time. A person who facilitates starts the talk and keeps the mode going with everybody. And in the end, you have to present it. So you have to record what everybody said and take only point. So you'll always select a timer, a timekeeper, a facilitator, a presenter, and a recorder. Okay. So how is this different from your learning in school? Chinmay already asked you. Okay. So I will tell you, the adults have an existing base of knowledge and experience. They seek out conscious learning based on personal interest, and adults understand why they are learning, so their motivation levels are naturally high. It is not spoon feeding, it is by inquiry. The role of a teacher must be effectively for adults feel like a mentor, a coach, a peer, an expert, a facilitator, and not just as I am the sage of the stage. I'll just stop sharing so that I want to know whether those people have come, Rangarajan and all. Okay. I don't know. They have.
Ma'am, I have joined in. Dr. Chetan.
Yeah, Chetan, can you put on your video?
Yeah, I think.
Is it Chetan Hegde, sir?
Yes, Chetan Hegde, our president, IPS. So, Dr. Chetan, these people, they're all IPS members. They will introduce first themselves.
Right.
Okay, start, Jyoti.
Madam, before you start, Rangarajan sir is also there. So we request sir also to please switch on the video if possible.
Sir, we are very happy. The president and the past president are here, because these are the 10 jewels that we have, which are really progressing well and learning. They are learning how to be effective teachers. So I want all of you to introduce yourself, in the which college and what position you have. Start. One by one, fatafat.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Mirna Gadnai, working as a professor and PG guide in Institute of Dental Science, that is under SOA University, Sikya Anusandhan University, Bhubaneswar, Odisha. So I have been very enthusiastic joining this program, and it has been, till now, it has been a learning experience and very entertaining. I'm thankful to ma'am for that.
Thank you. Next. Yeah, anyone?
Good evening, Chetan sir, and it's nice meeting you on this platform today. Myself, Dr. Anand Patil. I am professor and head Department of Prosthodontics, KLE VK Institute of Dental Sciences, Pedagogy. And this course is really enlightening us, sir, with new things we are learning every day from under the able guidance of Nagda madam and Chinmay sir. Thanks to both of them for conducting this online course. Thank you very much, sir.
Next.
Narendra sir.
Good evening, Dr. Ranga sir and Chetan sir. Good to see you on this platform. I'm trying to refresh myself. I had done few courses long back, some 20 years back, and this was a great opportunity for me. And like I said, even in my this thing, when they asked me why you want to do this course, I told that I want to implement as much as possible what I learned in my institution, that is Mahatma Gandhi Dental College, Jaipur. So it's been great since last 5 weeks, probably 4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I'm Dr. Siddharth, sir. It's my privilege to learn among, sir, all the examiners who were there for me during my, what do you call, post-graduation days, sir. Just to upgrade our knowledge with the change in the curriculum of teaching for the postgraduates and undergraduates as well in dentistry.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Meenakshi. Chetan sir, Rangarajan sir, good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Meenakshi from JSS Dental College and Hospital, Mysore, sir. Very happy to be associated with ma'am. Ma'am, as already mentioned, we have 10 jewels here. Felt really nice. And we would definitely make us feel proud by shining in our educational curriculum. Definitely, sir. And it's been a splendid learning till now. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Shilpa.
Good evening, sir. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Sir, my name is Shilpa Sinurkar. I am from Gulbarga, but I work in Madurai, Best Dental Science College as an associate professor. And ma'am has given a great opportunity to work under, and ma'am is enlightening in a different scenario where we relearning, unlearning, and a different aspect in teaching. So I'm very thankful for ma'am and Chinmay sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Sandhya.
Good evening, Rangarajan sir and Chetan sir. I'm Dr. Sandhya Gopalakrishnan. I'm presently working in Government Dental College, Kottayam. Chetan sir, you had come in 2018 to our college. You were an expert for showing the postgraduates some hands-on demonstrations. You had come to my college, and I'm happy to be in this course because it's a gray area. We as prosthodontists in our PG curriculum, we have been taught how to understand prosthodontics, but it's never how to be a teacher. So it's now a learning process for me. Ma'am is taking excellent class. 4 classes are already over, and it is very nice. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So, Dr. Chetan, would you like to say something?
Good evening, everybody. It's very heartwarming to see all of you having taken up this course. I'm quite sure Dr. Nagda madam will make it sure the course turns out to be very useful and can be definitely implemented, because from what I understand from her is it's a combination of online as well as offline, which involve multiple assignments as well. I'm very happy to see among the participants a mixture of very senior professors. Some of them are heading the institution, some of them are HODs, and a lot of them are very seasoned academicians, serious academicians who are taking up this course. And I can only make out that the direction in which their interests are going in bringing about the best educational policies, maybe policy decisions or teaching methodologies, or bringing about changes in the curriculum, which is the need of the hour. Because the curriculum has not undergone change for a very long time. Teaching methodologies are almost been the same. I'm quite sure this course will bring about slowly but steadily, will involve more and more people and bring about the necessary changes. I congratulate one and all of you who have been a participant of this course, and I'm quite sure this will change your complete perspective about the education, providing education, because providing education is completely which is completely a new ball game today. It's not unlike the earlier from pupil directly to the students. It's completely changed from a different perspective. So I'm very happy that more and more people, mixture of very senior as well as prosthodontists who have been in the teaching arena for quite some time, are taking up this course. Madam, hats off to you. You've always been in the forefront. You already finished one course. I'm quite sure that you have been into a lot of difficulties in the first half of it, because we are all new to this program. So I'm quite sure from now onward, this regular program will carry out and brings up, will be very interesting and more helpful to all the participants. Congratulations once again, and thank you for this opportunity.
Chetan sir, I just want to tell you this is a 5-module course conducted over a period of about 1 year. And sir is not there?
I'm there,
Yeah,
very much.
okay. Yeah. So conduct a period of 1 year. So about 50 to 60 sessions we generally have. This includes teaching, learning methodology and strategies, academic leadership, and also assessment and newer methods of assessment, because the NEET coming up and the next exams, how these MEQs will play an important part, and how the students can be trained, how learning objective can be aligned with assessment, and curriculum planning, module planning also. And most important aspect of this whole is educational project. They will do a project that works in the college. It is not just dry research. They'll take up an area, they'll work in that, supposing early clinical exposure. Their own students are exposed to one method of new method of learning. They will have a questionnaire for the students. They will teach them that way. They'll have post questionnaire, or they will even experiment with certain things like case-based learning or something like that. So that's what makes them a strong taking back home application, because they are already telling people that this is what the education works. So many of the people from last year have started working in various areas in education, etc. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you,
Rangarajan
madam.
sir.
So wonderful.
Rangarajan sir.
Good evening, madam. Good evening, President, and all the esteemed members of the Indian Prosthodontic Society. The President has already put in succinctly what I also wanted to say. I think it's an amazing program that Madam is conducting. Last year also we had number of participants, and Madam pulled it off and her team. Of course, everything is a team effort. Madam is, of course, the main leader in charge and leading the way by example, because she also keeps learning also continuously. You have to understand that she has been learning a lot as she teaches. And this is a continuous process. Learning is always a continuous process. I'm so happy to see all the many deans, like very, very experienced people like Padiyar and all, getting into this. And for the sake of the next generation, they are going to show the way for the next generation. Probably there'll be future faculty members also, many of you in our programs in future. So it's a fantastic workshop, and I know what it involves because I was the president last year when this whole thing, took shape, and also when about 30, almost 40 of them graduated during the Golden Jubilee Conference. So I really know what it involves and how much Madam has put into her own effort and various other things into bringing this into reality. So really appreciate all of your confidence in Madam's course as well as the Indian Prosthodontic Society, and I thank you for that. And I just wish you all the very best, not only in this course but also in your professional careers. So very best to you, and God bless.
Yeah, here I would like to introduce Dr. Chinmay Shah. I think he could not come last year to Delhi. Chinmay, would you like to say something? Chinmay is a professor and head of department of physiology at Government Medical College, Bhavnagar. Chinmay?
Yeah. Good evening, Chetan sir and Rangarajan sir. Let me thank on this juncture to the IPS, because I think IPS is the first association who has started such course. Because usually what we have seen in all the associations, that mostly association looks for private practitioners and they never thought of education. So this is a great initiative, and Miss IPS will be working as a torch bearer, that other associations should also, because see, if you will not focus on education, the product which is going to come out, you have to go to them in future. So I must congratulate Rangarajan sir and Chetan sir, because as sir has said, last year it was the first, and everything is difficult when it is starting. After that we have to maintain it, but definitely many hiccups come so when we start. And as we all said, madam is a contagious. Once we look at the madam, you will see that at this age, she is working day and night and from anywhere.
Don't be age biased.
Yeah. So really age is a number for a madam, and we are also getting inspired from her. So thank you, Rangarajan sir and Chetan sir, for being present here, and you inspired all of us for keeping the things in safe, and we will try to fulfill the expectation of participant as well as an association. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Ranga.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir. Thank you.
All the
Chetan.
best. All the best.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah. So we'll continue with our sharing of this slide. I'll just try to finish it as early as possible. So we said the adults understand why they are learning, what they're motivated already. And they are continuous learner too. Maybe some hiccups come and they stop, but they continue it back. You must have heard many people continuing what they have left earlier. And to tell you the difference between andragogy is adult learning and pedagogy is the child learning. Learners here are called participants. We are all participants here. We cannot be called students. You are all independent learner because you are always deciding what you want to do more and what you want to do and how you want to do. It's always flexible objectives. Learning objective, fixed learning objective, never put in the class nowadays. You can always have a column, any other objective that can be included later, that can be during the course, etc. Even you can contribute to make the learning objective. It is assumed that the learners, adult learners, have experience and they contribute and they are active learner. So we require active training methods. Learners influence timing and pace. When you want to learn, how much you want to learn, maybe you require one more extra class for a topic, or maybe the timing should be a little more flexible for us. So the involvement is very vital of the participants. If you're involved in the class as you are, then the learning happens better. And learning for problem solving is the motto of adults, because you want to teach in a better way. You want to teach today's students with today's methods and not with yesterday's methods. You want to be a leader with a purpose. So you have problem centered. What all you want to do? You want to solve those things. Primary resources are your ideas. It's not my ideas or anybody else's. Your projects will be made with your ideas, what is necessary for the institution. And that is how this course is different from other courses. So andragogy is adult learning. They are best suited for problem solving, structured formal learning, learners with a defined need to know. So andragogy, the principles are adults learn better from experience. Even if they make mistakes, they learn again. In fact, you learn with mistakes, you do it and it succeeds, you feel better. Adults favor a pragmatic approach and must be able to apply it. You don't want any dry things. You want pragmatic to be useful. And also, adults are most interested in learning things that are of immediate relevance. I'm not going to learn AI unless I feel that the AI is going to be useful for me for tomorrow. Adults need to be involved in the planning and evaluation of their instruction. So we on and off ask you as to how can we plan? Do you like this method? Or how do we, which the things to be taken first? You'll see during the course. So what motivates adult learner is a curiosity. Need to know. Truth is that adults are complex individuals. So there is never one size fits all. We talked about styles. We talked about your other things also. We already have in a position. So we need to design the whole thing that to fit and match and make everybody, yes, I got something from it. Adult learning theories provide a foundation to define and marry a learning need. You want to be completely married to the learning need, the need to learn newer method, the need to learn. I told you, write down confusion technique. I will take that for you. So adult learning principle, they are self-directed learners. You will decide which way you want to learn. And also you plan when to learn. Timing क्या करना है? हमको रोज 1 घंटा पढ़ना है, रोज 1 घंटा कुछ ऐसा आर्टिकल्स देखना है. So adults use their life experience to facilitate learning. Adults are focused on achieving the goals. They need to know how information is relevant, how it is useful. They're very practical and they're looking for a mentor. A mentor is a person who builds on your ideas. What should I do? So I'll say, what do you want to do? Come out now. You discuss. Then I can add, yeah, this is better. That is, one participant from last year called me and said, Madam, she wants to do MHP abroad. I said, MHP abroad is very expensive. You first do it in India. You will get a lot of knowledge and some courses are very good. So I said, I'll suggest 1 or 2 for you. Masters in Health Profession Education. So she said that, I said, it will be easier, cheaper, and you cannot go a course which is part-time. And supposing she is in Chennai, she cannot go to Delhi or Mumbai or Bangalore also. So it has to be a course which is online and only offline 7 days in 1 year, or maybe twice 7 days. Then she can take leave and go. So we want to have a mentor. You want to know how to get a promotion, but not by just going after the management or the principal or the head of the department, but by your own merit and little bit of working people to know that your intelligence is important. Adults are open for modern ways of learning and they choose how to learn. You will choose how to learn. So what's the role of a teacher? Can you all come out? What's the role of a teacher? We already showed the slide. Come on. Role of a teacher?
Facilitator, ma'am.
And
guide the
mentor, a
students.
coach. It
A
can be
mentor,
like
coach.
a friend, a confidant. Adults are self-directed learners. To just summarize, the teachers are facilitators. They diagnose their own needs. Teacher doesn't have to do. The adults diagnose, this is where I want to do little more in the project. Formulating own objectives and identify resources to achieve these objectives. There is a great deal to contribute by you. So all of you must keep on speaking fatafat. I don't have to say, Shilpa, you say, Arun. I don't have to say. You have to yourself come on. Did Arun introduce himself? Arun? I think he's not there. The teacher asks for inputs. They already know, so they can build on the knowledge using their experience. We did that many times. We each one shared what type of learning style you have. So you come to know that every style is okay. How to sustain the interest? Like I told you, it's about problem solving. It's about assigning a real job to you so that you are able to link the theory and practice. Adults are eager to become competent faster. So how you can become competent? The readiness to learn makes you competent because you readily learn. You're not forced. So safe learning environment is here. Even if there is an issue you have not attended, we tell you, okay, next you find out from your friend. But every time if you do that, you will not learn. But if I say that you are always late, you are not coming, you are always joining late, sometimes it may happen also. But when it becomes too many times. But safe learning environment is not only self-esteem. Safe learning environment is able to question, able to be asking questions and deriving answer, able to be telling that this is the way I want to go. The teacher should show respect for the learner's individuality and experience and provide low risk activities in small groups. See, your students are neither child and nor adults completely. So they need a lot of respect. They expect that from us. So what's my learning style? We also, we found out that we are knowledge of the learners, prior knowledge of the learners in adults. We have a meaningful arrangement of the content. You will make now your own points. Like Narendra said, he makes notes. Probably he will When I ask you to give me a reflection of today's lecture, today's topic, you all will give your own narrative. So there was an active participation by all of you. We can use puzzles, pair and share, bus groups, so many methods we can use. And by in every lecture you will see, session you will see that we are using. We ask you to recall. आपने कैसा पढ़ा, आपको क्या पढ़, क्यों, why, what motivated. So these things, no, when you recall, you are connecting with the brain. So you can use all these techniques in this class also. The learner should be provided opportunities to apply knowledge in the new realistic problem solving. So your students also, you can give a real life experience by taking them to the clinic, community, or there they see the patients, the elderly not able to eat, elderly not able to speak, elderly's nutrition is affected. So there is a learning need, and there is a individual learning cycle, how I want to learn. So we acknowledge and respect that. Learning style is a combination of, now see what I took for you: affective domain, cognitive domain, environmental and physiological responses. Can you just note down this fourth point? Learning style, what we develop, is a combination of our affective domain, how I feel, and cognition, remembering, connecting with the brain, etc. And going higher and higher in cognition, from knowledge to understanding to comprehending, application, and creating new knowledge. So cognitive, environmental, this is applicable to me, and this environment makes me learn better. Your all colleagues are there for you, so you learn better. And the physiological responses, how I'm able to use it, how I'm able to connect with it, and how I'm able to inside feel for it. Individual information processing is fundamental. Empowered by knowledge, you are empowered. You have their own and others' learning styles. That doesn't matter. Different learning styles we will use. So effective multi-learning style should be used, and it should also called as personalized learning. We'll talk about personalized learning, how we do that. Even that some universities follow this PLP, but it's very difficult for you. You decide you want to learn economics in the second term, and you don't want to learn certain chapters now. That is not the possible in our country. But personalized learning style here can be just said that how do I want to learn, apply, and use it, think about it, reflect on it, and improvise it. So I want to monitor, and so we will be asking you to keep portfolios, and we will be asking you to give feedback and reflection. Today's assignment is reflection of what you learn, reflection, recalling, and giving us feedback. And portfolio, you have that portfolio is what is going to give you the graduation certificate here. So Chinmay will speak to about portfolio. He spoke a little. So please, learning style is important. Equally is important our self-esteem, how you keep our self-esteem, self-respect, and also the attitude toward other learners and myself. So if you take an inventory, actually speaking, there are various domains of learning. The domains of learning I will take later, so I will not continue with it. Domains of learning are, I think last time Dr. Gaurang took a little bit for you, but every time domains will come. The cognitive domain and affective domain, psychomotor domain. It came, no, last time. Yeah. So the 10 commandments. Don't teach, just facilitate. Don't give complete spoon feeding. Respect the autonomy of the learner. Adult learner is not an empty vessel in which you can pour information. He already has, so build on the knowledge that he has. You all have experienced with teaching, so I can build on it. Motivation holds the key of learning. So self-motivation, internal and external motivation. Adult learners require a challenge. That adrenaline flow has to be there. Adults are capable of working effectively in groups. Adults require non-threatening environment, safe learning environment. What makes you an effective teacher? Is it your scholarship, Scholarship is not just getting scholarship of money. Scholarship is publication. Scholarship is recognition. Scholarship is position in the university of being a member of the board or maybe chairman of the board. So love and support the students is important. That's also becomes a scholarship because the students like you. And translating the good teaching principle into a routine teaching. We saw the good teaching principle earlier. It becomes a routine teaching otherwise. So you need to be a role model. For that, there should be no stress. Role models, I want to be like Padiyar sir. I want to be like, Arun sir. I want to also go in the army like Arun. So these are important things. So you are being exemplary. So please, I said there is a hidden curriculum. So we need to be generally be myself and understand that what I don't like others to do to me, I don't want to do that to the students. Self-directed learner, experience-based. So we will have experience-based learning, problem-centered, application-oriented, eager to become competent, prefer safe learning environment. So 3 C's of education are constructive, contextual, collaborative, and self-directed. We say we construct the knowledge on what we know or what you don't know. We give you a teaser, a narrative, a meaning on which we can be. Context is built. Collaboratively learn, and we need to be self-directed learners. So what will you do differently as a teacher is the assignment I want you to write. What will you do differently as a teacher? Now, you are already teaching. So what little things you will do differently? What did you pick up from what was your learning from today's class is first reflection, and what will you do differently as a teacher is the second. Okay. So we need to take home from me is I will facilitate more, try to build on the prior knowledge, provide learning experience. So all these things, what we saw in the earlier slide, what I will do is try to build on this. Okay. So now let me stop sharing. Yeah. So it is 8 o'clock. I tried to complete it so that your dinners don't wait for you and your also other meetings don't wait for you. Somehow we lost. Arun, did you introduce yourself? Arun?
His internet is problem, I think.
Okay. So on Friday, for Friday, Chinmay will send you a link. Please join. You will enjoy the class on pulling your own strings. I told you, using my own influence for myself, my progress. And then I will do some activities with you with that. And this Monday, I request you to attend because it is only convenient to Ashwini on that day. And after 25th, I think we will try and have on, if she agrees, on Wednesdays. For her, some days are not okay because she has classes herself. Okay. Yeah. So COVID has taught us to do a lot of things, multitask and do a lot of things. So I let you go. The assignment, I have given you. Okay. Can you talk, Dr. Chinmay?
Yeah, so I was just sharing the flyer which I am going to circulate along with the joining link. So this is actually a flyer. So every year we conduct this BD Parmar memorial oration from last year. So last year we have a session by Dr. Supe sir, and this time we have a session by Dr. Suresh Chari sir, and the topic is pulling your own strings. Session on assertiveness in the leadership. It's from 7 p.m. on Friday.
Okay, good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Everybody. Thank you, ma'am.
Good night, madam. Good night, sir. Thank you very much.
I want 2 people who can